Truck dealers will tell you their half-ton can tow 12,000 pounds. What they won't mention? With your family and gear inside, you're actually legal for maybe 7,000. Last year, over 40% of new truck buyers exceeded their payload capacity within the first 6 months, most without ever knowing it. Today, we're cutting through the marketing fiction and revealing everything you actually need to know about buying a truck in 2025. The mistakes we're covering cost buyers an average of $8,000 in the first year alone. And number one, it's the single biggest trap that catches even experienced truck owners. Watch to the end. This could save you from turning a $60,000 investment into an expensive regret. Number 10, the aftermarket modification trap. That 4-inch lift kit looks fantastic. Those 35-inch tires, aggressive. The tonneau cover, running boards, spray and bed liner, and aftermarket bumper, all adding to your truck's curb weight. Here's what the modification shops don't tell you. Every pound you add is one less pound you can legally haul or tow. A typical modification package, lift, larger tires, bumpers, and accessories, adds 300 to 600 pounds. On an F-150 with 1,500 pounds of payload capacity, you just lost 40% of your hauling ability before you put a single piece of cargo in the bed. One owner on the F-150 forum documented his regret after lifting his power boost. I put a 4-inch lift and 35 by 12.5 tires on it. I'm now getting 14.5 miles per gallon, and today I hauled a 6,500-pound trailer, 280 miles round trip, and got 7.5 miles per gallon. The payload calculation is merciless. Gross vehicle weight rating, minus curb weight, minus all your modifications equals what's left. That reading light you installed reduces payload. That aftermarket exhaust reduces payload. The secondary fuel tank, you get the idea. Before you modify, know your numbers. Your door jamb sticker shows your truck's payload capacity is built. Everything you add after that comes out of that number, and there's no appealing to the physics. Number 9, the first-year model myth that needs to die. Never buy the first year of a redesign. Let them work out the bugs. Sounds reasonable, except the data tells a more complicated story. According to truck industry analysis, problems often don't surface until years 2 through 4 of a model run. Why? Engines need time to accumulate miles before certain failure modes appear. The Toyota Tundra wastegate issue proves this perfectly. The 2022 redesign looked solid initially. Fast forward to 2024, and Consumer Reports documented widespread engine failures due to machining debris, a problem that took 30,000 to 50,000 miles to manifest. First-year buyers who traded out early, they dodged a bullet. Those who held on to year 2 or 3 trucks, they got the worst of it. The real advice? Research the specific generation, not just the model year. A 2.5 Gen truck in its 6th year might have more documented issues than a clean sheet redesign. Check if the platform shares components with other models that have proven track records. The Ford Ranger's 2023 redesign, for instance, shared significant engineering with a global model that had been on sale since 2018. Sometimes a first-year truck actually has years of real-world testing behind it. Number 8, the fuel economy fantasy. The EPA window sticker says 21 miles per gallon combined. You're seeing 18.7. Welcome to the club. Nearly every truck owner experiences this 15 to 20% shortfall between advertised and real-world economy. The gap widens further for hybrid models, where the EPA's testing cycle plays to the electric motor's strengths in ways that daily driving doesn't replicate. Edmunds tracked a Toyota Tundra that achieved 15.2 miles per gallon versus its 19 combined EPA estimate. The Tacoma Hybrid, marketed as a fuel sipper, delivered 18.7 versus 21 EPA. Even the F-150 Power Boost Hybrid, praised for efficiency, consistently underperforms its numbers when you're actually using the truck as a truck. At current fuel prices, averaging $3.50 per gallon, that 3 mile per gallon shortfall costs you about $650 per year on a typical 15,000-mile driving profile. The disconnect happens because EPA testing doesn't account for real truck usage. They're not testing with tonneau covers that create drag. They're not factoring in oversized tires that increase rolling resistance and change your speedometer calibration. They're certainly not towing a 7,500-pound boat up a 6% grade into a headwind. One Ram owner noted his MDS cylinder deactivation system, supposed to boost economy, created a judder that made the feature unusable, forcing him to disable it permanently. Calculate fuel costs based on real-world numbers, not EPA fantasy. Check owner forms for your specific truck and configuration. A Silverado with a 3.0 Duramax diesel will crush the EPA estimates. Owners routinely report 28 to 30 miles per gallon on highway cruising. A Tundra hybrid, you'll be lucky to match them. Budget accordingly, because fuel is now your second largest ownership cost after the payment itself. Over a 5-year loan period, the difference between advertised and real-world fuel economy can represent $3,000 to $5,000 in unexpected costs. Number 7. Heavy-duty diesel longevity nobody talks about. Half-ton trucks or appliances, you'll be lucky to see 200,000 miles without major repairs. Heavy-duty diesels, they're just getting broken in at 200,000. The Cummins 6.7 and Ram HD trucks routinely exceeds 400,000 miles. The Duramax 6.6 and PowerStroke 6.7 both commonly surpass 350,000 miles with proper maintenance. But here's what dealers won't tell you, that longevity only happens if you actually work these trucks. Heavy-duty diesels hate short trips and light loads. Running a 3/4-ton diesel on a 10-mile daily commute with an empty bed, you're creating the conditions for diesel particulate filter failures, turbo degradation, and EGR system clogs. One owner documented $23,000 in emission system repairs on a low-mileage F-250 that never towed anything heavier than a jet ski. The math only works if you need the capability. A Silverado 2500 HD diesel costs about $15,000 more than a comparable 1500 with the 6.2 V8. At current diesel prices, averaging 60 to 80 cents per gallon more than regular, you need to tow frequently and heavily to justify the premium. If you're not regularly pulling 8,000 pounds or more, you're spending extra money to create expensive problems. Number 6, mid-size truck regret is real. I don't need a full-size truck. Famous last words. Mid-size truck sales are booming. The Tacoma just posted an 88.5% sales increase for 2025. But owner forums tell a different story about buyer satisfaction. The regret typically sets in around month 6, right when that first big road trip or major towing job reveals the truck's limitations. The Tacoma's new turbocharged 4-cylinder makes decent power, 326 horsepower in hybrid form. But that back seat, Edmunds called it, frankly, a joke. The Colorado and Ranger offer better rear seat space, but at a cost. Both sacrifice some bed length to make it happen. And towing? The Colorado maxes out at 7,700 pounds, the Ranger at 7,500. That's fine until you actually spec out a travel trailer or boat package and realize you're at 90% of capacity before you load a single cooler. The price gap is closing too. A well-equipped Tacoma TRD off-road can hit $55,000. For that money, you're knocking on the door of a base F-150 crew cab that offers more space, more capability, and better resale value. The fuel economy advantage? 3 to 4 miles per gallon at most, about $30 a month for most drivers. When you factor in the higher transaction prices on Tacomas due to dealer markups and limited inventory, you might actually pay more for less truck. Midsize makes sense if you genuinely need a smaller footprint for parking or trail running. If you're navigating tight urban streets or hitting technical off-road trails where full-size width becomes a liability, midsize is the right call. But if you're buying midsize to save money or because you don't need that much truck, there's a good chance you'll be shopping for a full-size within 3 years. Resale values on lightly used midsize trucks reflect this pattern. There's a reason the used market is flooded with 3-year-old Tacomas from owners who discovered they needed more capability. Number 5, modern engine oil consumption is normal. Check your oil. No, seriously, check it. Modern truck engines are burning oil at rates that would have triggered warranty claims a decade ago, and manufacturers have simply changed what they consider acceptable. Ford allows 1 quart per 1,000 miles on the 5.0 Coyote Vite 8 as normal. GM permits 1 quart per 2,000 miles. One owner of a 6.2-liter reported adding a quart between every oil change interval and getting an oil level warning light around 15,000 miles. The kicker? GM removed dipsticks on some models, making it harder for owners to even check consumption. The cause? CAFE regulations pushing manufacturers toward lightweight piston rings that improve fuel economy but increase oil consumption. These rings wear faster under load, and the problem compounds over time. A truck that burns a quart every 5,000 miles when new might be consuming a quart every 1,500 miles by 80,000 miles. This is where heavy-duty trucks shine. The larger displacement diesels and gas engines in HD trucks use traditional ring designs because they don't face the same efficiency pressures. A Ram 2500 with the Cummins will use virtually no oil between changes for its entire service life. Meanwhile, your $80,000 F-150 Limited with a high-output 3.5 EcoBoost might need a quart every 1,200 miles. The oil companies are thrilled. Your wallet, not so much. Number 4, Toyota's reliability collapse. For decades, Toyota trucks meant bulletproof reliability. The second-generation Tundra ran from 2007 to 2021 with the 5.7 V8. Consumer Reports gave those trucks their seal of awesome. Then Toyota completely redesigned the Tundra for 2022, and the wheels fell off. Literally in some cases. Wheel stud failures joined the long list of problems plaguing the new generation. Consumer Reports now ranks the Tundra as the least reliable full-size truck. The culprit? Widespread engine failures on 2022 and 2023 non-hybrid models due to machining debris left in the engine during manufacturing. Toyota issued a stop sale and recall, but the damage to the Tundra's reputation is severe. Owners also report in-car electronics issues, camera failures, and build quality problems that never plagued the previous generation. The infotainment system has been particularly problematic, with multiple software updates failing to resolve basic functionality issues. The Tacoma followed a similar trajectory. The third-generation truck was rock solid. The fourth-gen 2024 redesign? Below average reliability in its first year, though it recovered faster than the Tundra. Both trucks now require subscriptions for navigation and music streaming. Separate subscriptions, not even a bundled data package. Using your phone as a hotspot isn't an option due to system limitations. You're paying $50,000 for a truck that nickel and dimes you for features that should be standard. This is a watershed moment. Toyota's truck reliability was their primary competitive advantage. Without it, they're selling trucks that cost more than domestic competitors, offer less capability, return worse fuel economy than advertised, and now can't claim superior reliability. The Toyota tax made sense when you were buying a truck that would run forever. Now, you're paying a premium for a name that no longer delivers on its core promise. Resale values are starting to reflect this reality. 3-year-old Tundras are depreciating faster than comparable domestic trucks, a complete reversal of historical patterns. Number 3, Ram's V8 gamble. Ram did the unthinkable for the 2025 model year. They killed the Hemi Phi 8 across the entire 1500 lineup in an American truck. The replacement? A twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter inline-six called the Hurricane, available in standard output, 420 horsepower, and high output, 540 horsepower configurations. On paper, it works. The Hurricane makes more power than the old 5.7 Hemi and delivers better fuel economy, but early adopters are reporting issues. The e-Torque mild hybrid system creates a judder and rumble that some owners find intolerable. Build quality concerns plague the new trucks. One owner called it kind of a joke, and maximum towing capacity dropped to 11,330 pounds, down from over 12,000 on previous Hemi-equipped trucks. Ram's bet is that buyers will accept a smaller displacement Turbo 6 if it delivers V8 power with better economy. The problem? Truck buyers are traditionalists. They wanted the Hemi rumble. They wanted naturally aspirated torque, and they're not getting it. Consumer Reports already ranks the new Ram 1500 below average for predicted reliability, citing concerns with the new powertrain. If you want a V8 Ram, you now have exactly one option: buy used. The 2024 model year was the Hemi's last stand. Or step up to HD, where the 6.4 Hemi still exists. But for the core half-ton Ram buyer, the Hurricane is your only choice. It's a bold move that could either position Ram as forward-thinking or alienate their core customer base. We'll know which by this time next year, when early lease returns and trade-ins start flooding the market. Number 2, the half-ton towing reality check. This is where we separate the marketing from the mathematics. Every half-ton truck commercial shows a gleaming pickup effortlessly towing a massive boat or a 2-horse trailer up a mountain pass. What they don't show is the weight distribution spreadsheet you need to make that legal. Here's the reality from actual owners. One F-150 buyer downsized from a 2015 Duramax 3500. His first tow with a 20-foot equipment trailer, empty, was a bad joke as far as towing. Another owner reported trading his perfectly good F2 57.3 for a new F-150, thought he didn't need the bigger truck anymore, and immediately regretted it when he hooked up his usual trailer. The problem isn't the towing capacity number. Modern half-tons can genuinely tow 10 to 13,000 pounds when properly equipped. The problem is payload. Tongue weight, typically 10 to 15% of trailer weight, counts against your payload capacity, not your towing capacity. So does every passenger, every piece of gear in the bed, the fuel in your tank, that auxiliary battery for your camper. All of it comes out of a payload number that might only be 1,500 to 2,000 pounds to start. Do the math on a typical family towing scenario. 7,000-pound travel trailer means 700 to 1,050 pounds of tongue weight. Add 4 passengers at an average 180 pounds each. Throw in 200 pounds of camping gear. You're at 1,700 to 1,900 pounds before you put a single item in the bed. On many half-ton configurations, you just exceeded your payload capacity while staying well under your towing rating. Experts suggest staying at 85% of tow capacity to leave room for payload. That turns your 12,000-pound tow rating into a realistic 8,000 pounds for a family. Number 1, the payload capacity trap. This is the mistake that costs buyers the most money, creates the most legal liability, and happens to the most people, because almost nobody understands what payload capacity actually means or how to calculate it correctly. Payload is not how much you can put in the bed. It's the total weight your truck can carry, in the cab, in the bed, and on the hitch. The calculation is simple. Gross vehicle weight rating minus curb weight equals payload capacity. But here's where it gets complicated. That curb weight number assumes a base model with no options. Every feature you add, sunroof, larger wheels, towing package, power seats, increases curb weight and decreases available payload. Your door jamb sticker shows the as-built payload for your specific truck. A Silverado 1500 advertises up to 2,140 pounds of payload capacity, but that's on a 2-wheel drive regular cab work truck with the 4-cylinder engine. The truck most people actually buy, 4-wheel drive crew cab with the 5.3 V8, has around 1,500 pounds of payload. Now add the family, 4 people at 720 pounds total. Add tongue weight from your trailer, 800 pounds. You're at 1,520 pounds. You exceeded payload before you put a toolbox in the bed. This is why so many truck owners unknowingly break the law every time they tow. They focus on the big, sexy towing capacity number, 12,000 pounds, and ignore the small, boring payload number on their door jamb. Then they load up the family, hook up the camper, and head down the highway 50 pounds over their gross vehicle weight rating. If you're in an accident, your insurance company can deny the claim. If you're pulled over at a weigh station, you're getting a ticket. And if your overloaded truck damages a bridge or roadway, you're personally liable. The solution isn't complicated, but it requires discipline. Before you buy, calculate your real-world payload needs. Family of 4 who tows a 7,500-pound trailer? You need at least 2,000 pounds of payload after accounting for passengers and tongue weight. That rules out most half-ton trucks in popular configurations. You're looking at heavy-duty or you're downsizing your trailer? There's no other option that keeps you legal. And for those who already own a truck, pull the family and gear out. Drive to a truck scale or CAT scale at a truck stop. Get your actual loaded weight. Compare it to the GVWR on your door jamb. If you're over, you have three choices: reduce weight, upgrade trucks, or accept that you're rolling the dice every time you drive. Most people choose option 3. We don't recommend it. Think trucks are complicated? Wait until you see what's happening in the SUV market. Check out our video on 10 SUVs. Everyone will regret buying in 2026 to find out which popular family haulers are about to cost their owners serious money.